I mean, I'm gonna get critical whiplash going from a film like Candyman to going to a film like Demonic, both within the horror genre, and they're wildly different.
Yeah.
Let me contextualize this by saying I used to play a lot of The Sims. Love The Sims. Can't go anywhere near The Sims because I will disappear for 3 days straight. But
Right.
watching Demonic is like watching a high budget version of The Sims. That's kind of all the boring bits of The Sims. I don't understand how a filmmaker like Blomkamp could make this film. This When I saw it, and I always try to avoid reading reviews by other critics of films, especially if we're all prone to kind of getting preconceived notions in our head. But Jesus Christ, what was anybody thinking in this film? I don't understand why this had to be made. I don't understand who was at gunpoint to make this film. Who are these characters? Who wrote the script? There are lines that I kept writing down as I was watching this film, like one character telling another one who is, we're told, her best friend has been her best friend for her entire life, that literally says, "You are my BFF," and then they laugh. And I could not have cringed harder. And to give you, I realize I haven't explained the plot of this film. The plot is essentially that a woman called Carly is called in by these scientists, just generic scientists, to use some sort of device that looks like a little swimming cap with some bubbles put into it, and they put her inside of the sim.
I think that's probably exactly what it was.
Yeah, exactly. They put her into a Sims-like simulation of her comatose, psychopathic arsonist mother in her mother's head. And they, we're told, have had a very tense relationship since her mother set fire to a care home and then poisoned some other people. We're told all of this via the clunkiest exposition I've seen, like this side of 2021.
I always find that gets in the way of a relationship with the mother.
And I have a very soft spot for a particular brand of techno horror from the 90s and kind of techno thrillers that try to use AI and simulated realities to create a world, when the internet was very fresh and new and kind of scary, and we were all wondering like, oh my God, what is it going to be? Are we all going to be filing our deepest, darkest secrets in a virtual world? And do we really need that in 2021? No, that's not a source of fear. I mean, come on, we've come so far with technology and with tech-based horror as well, that we're now going back to The Sims. We're now going back to The Sims and to simulating living in someone's brain to tell them that we hate them and that we have issues with them. I mean, who wrote the script? I know who wrote the script. Blomkamp wrote the script. Neil wrote the script.
He did.
I refuse to believe it. I'm sorry. I don't understand. There is a line that I literally wrote down called a character when in the demonic exposition part, he says, "I'm talking demons, devil, real." That's an actual line. That's an actual line that got written, that got shot, that got delivered by an actor.
Sounds like a placeholder that just never got into the final
Well,
draft.
exactly.
Yeah.
The whole film feels like a placeholder for a better film.
Yeah. It feels there are just so many ideas going on as well. All of them, in and of themselves, may be an interesting premise for a film.
20 years
But
ago.
It almost feels like he's got a pizza base and he's just tipped the entire salad bar on top of it. And so you have possession, Vatican conspiracies, you've got tech horror, stormtrooper monks. This is basically a horror film bingo, isn't it? It's like Legs 11, bloke with a crow for a head.
You've got
Two Little Ducks, portal to a demonic realm. It's just endless.
You've got Vatican priests who are all tatted up and look and are dressed like Blade, and they're there with massive cross tattoos on their back, there to kill demons.
I didn't know you could get sub Dan Brown, but this is it.
There
And
really is.
It's very disappointing to see this from Neil Blomkamp, because he's at District 9 made an enormous impression on me when it first came out. He nearly made an Alien sequel, which may have been a blessing in disguise, the fact he didn't. But he's a force to be reckoned with, and this feels like one that maybe paid paid for a tax bill. I don't know.
I hope that's what's...
Look, from what I know, the reality is Blomkamp made this in lockdown, and he desperately wanted to make something. And so I think I'm prepared to give him the benefit of the doubt and just sort of say this was produced under ridiculous conditions, and it was self-financed as well. So he didn't have a studio, and he probably didn't have a script editor, and all those things have just resulted in a film that, straight to video doesn't mean anything anymore, but it really just feels so sort of ephemeral.
You know what got made in lockdown as well? Host. And Host is terrific. Got made in lockdown as well.
No excuse,
In the Earth.
Yeah.
And In the Earth is terrific. This is just like, Neil, babes, I'm sorry. You should have just stayed playing The Sims. This did not need to unleash this on the planet. This was unnecessary.
So if you want to see Demonic by Neil Babes, that is out on general release.